just sold out in 7 hours. The whole thing. You can't get it. It's 25 bucks. 25 bucks on eBay. And I've got one. And you know what? It's darn good. And that's because it, what? That's some delicious pumpkin spice spam. In this environment, it makes sense to fall back on safe, consistent companies. Is there anything more consistent than Hormel Foods, the maker of Spam? Not to mention Jenny-O Turkey and Skippy Peanut Butter, Applegate Farms Organic Deli Meats, Justin's. Wow. Today, Hormel held a major investor meeting in New York City. But even though they told a good story, the stock got hit anyway. I think that's wrong. Don't take it from me, though, or from my teriyaki Spam that I've got. Earlier today, we checked in with Jim Snee, the chairman and CEO of this great American company that is Hormel Foods. Take a look. Jim, your company's at a crossroads. It's the fast-forward company, but it also is the historical company. It's brands that I love, like Happy Little Plants, but it's also this brand. And this brand is back, isn't it?
Well, the brand never left. Right?
Oh,
so,
fair enough.
from where we sit, Spam is just an iconic brand, and it really is foundation of the company.
But the growth is extraordinary.
5 consecutive years of record growth.
And how long did it take Pumpkin Spice Spam to sell out?
7 hours. So when we introduced or announced that we were going to sell it in August, since that time, we've had 1 billion, not 1 million, 1 billion media impressions, sold out in 7 hours. And now the product is being resold on the internet, 25 bucks a can. It's incredible the response we've got.
Wow, I've got gold here.
Absolutely.
But this is not the Hormel that people thought. This is a Hormel, obviously. You've always had one of the best dividend records, one of the great growth records. But we don't think about your company as forward enough to be able to have a pumpkin spice or to have what I think may be the best of all of these burgers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for us, it's really about this. We call it a food journey. Right, and so when you go back in our history, it was about iconic brands like Spam, Mary Kitchen Hash, and then we evolved into non-meat proteins with Skippy, but then really getting into some purpose-driven brands like Applegate and Justin's. And so this big initiative for us is food forward. We are a food company. We're incredibly proud to be a food company. And I mean, we know that there's going to be this constant evolution, and we need to be ahead of it because the consumer is changing faster than they ever have.
Now, the Applegate move, initially people felt you paid a lot. I happen to know Applegate from when it started, but Applegate is still the purest in the supermarket, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it's the leading brand in the organic and natural space. What we've done with it, though, because of our distinct capabilities, we've taken it out of just retail. We've moved it into the food service space. And so it's now connecting with colleges and universities and connecting with an even younger consumer who's going to set it up for a successful future.
Well, let's talk about colleges, universities, and millennials. The brand Justin's is a brand that resonates, even on your website. This is a company that I think is kind of, I don't know, by my generation, new age, but it's doing well.
It is. It's doing well, and it really was an extension of this, what we call nut butter platform. Right. So we had Skippy. Justin's was a natural extension, and it gave us another great platform for innovation. Innovation is a lifeblood to our company. We did it with Skippy, and we've done it with Justin's.
I was surprised at ideation to market. The fastest of the consumer packaged goods companies.
Yeah, I mean, we're really fast. And a great example, you mentioned it a little while ago, Happy Little Plants. So, I mean, everybody knows what's happening with plant-based proteins. That was a trend that we saw coming. Right. We had actually partnered with another company. And then when the IPO market hit, that partner said, you know what, we want to try and go it alone. So instead of buying, we had to build. And we put our team in motion, and we got it from ideation to market in 8 to 10 weeks. Absolutely incredible.
Now, your company has driven Dividend Aristocrat, has done so much for shareholders, and yet here's beyond meat is beyond belief when I think about it. The valuation of just buried in your company of Happy Little Plants, and really the best of this, of the organic protein base, versus a company that really has, you would say, a loaded with chemicals burger. I mean, how can the Wall Street, how can the people at home justify what Hormel's price is versus beyond?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? I mean, it's all about the consumer.
Right.
And so there's no arguing that the consumer is more curious about plants than they ever have been. And so, you know, when it comes to valuation of the company, all we can worry about is ourselves, and it's about how do we grow our business organically, how do we innovate, and how do we continue to make disciplined acquisitions.
Now, there are two elements that you can't control. One is price of avocado, because look, guacamole is a huge business for you. And African swine flu. Talk to me about the cost inputs of those two.
Yeah, so in our third quarter, we had a run-up in avocados that compressed margins, but I mean, that's a short-term blip, right? Okay. It is about the consumer demand and the strength of the brand.
Right.
And so whole wheat guacamole is well-positioned for the future. You know, from African swine fever, I mean, that's going to be a pork supply disruption. And again, you know, it's going to have an impact at some point in time. Markets haven't run up. But that's a short-term thing, right? That short-term margin compression. Right. The longer-term story is about the health of the brand, the health of the business. We'll get through all the noise because we've got amazing brands. You know,
can the Chinese bid up the price of pigs to the point where it's going to hurt you?
Well, it'll have an impact in terms of the short term, right? I mean, they're obviously large consumers of pork, and as that demand from China ramps up, it'll have an impact on the supply. But the way we think about it is it's short term, and we've been through this before, right? We know how to navigate pricing. We know how to manage our supply. And so as we think about it over the long term, we're going to be just fine.
You've gotten out of just the center of the store. Not that your center store is done poorly. Again, amazing.
Yeah.
But you're talking about Deli counter as being a major growth area. How did that stagnant area become a growth area?
Well, again, it's the consumer. So 2 years ago, we made the acquisition of Columbus Craft Meats, a West Coast brand. It's one of the leading deli companies. And for us, it became a catalyst. So we had all this fragmented businesses focused on the deli. This allowed us to bring them all together in one unified front because the consumer is shopping the perimeter of the store, the deli, different than they ever have before. So they're going there for entertainment. They're going there for grab-and-go snacks. They're now going there for dinner. Right, the prepared food section, it's no longer just roasted chicken and mac and cheese. I mean, these are culinary themed offerings in prepared foods. The beauty of it for us is we have an incredible food service business that can help retailers capitalize on that trend.
You and all the discussion we've had are a food company.
Absolutely.
You have lost the desire to be a food company. All through the years, everyone on the consumer packaged goods side seems to run from it. Why are you running to it?
Because food has a way of connecting people like nothing else in our society. And it's all about good quality food. So we actually have termed ourselves a global branded food company. Not CPG, not an ag company, global branded food company. It's all about the food. It's all about the brands. And we do want to become more global.
Now, it would seem to me that you've got more runway to be global than almost all of the multi-billion-dollar food companies I follow. Is this your chance to do it?
Yeah, and we have been doing it. It's just, you know, it hasn't accelerated as quickly as we like. We've got a good business in China that's focused on the China market. 2 years ago, we made a small investment in Brazil to learn about that market. The business is doing well, and we're getting the learnings to have a platform approach to the business. But there's going to be other opportunities for us to become even more global over time.
Okay, now in the last few minutes that we have, your company is a company that identifies with something we've been identifying with on Mad Money, and it's a bit of a new pivot for us. We call it impact per share. Your corporate and social responsibility. Social has always been at the forefront. Tell us some of the things that you're doing to make things better in the world.
Yeah, and I mentioned it earlier, we call it our food journey, right? And there's really 3 pillars. It's making sure that we take care of our people, because none of this happens without our people, and our partners, incredibly important to our business. Making sure that we take care of the communities by having great sustainability goals, but giving back to the communities where we live and work. And then through this whole food platform, creating products that improve the lives of consumers. It could be for a health benefit, it could be for a craving, right? A lot of different reasons, but as you think about our portfolio, it's broad, it's deep, and it's improving the lives of consumers. And so those 3 pillars on our food journey, that's where we're making a difference.
And then finally, a dividend. Our people like a continual dividend stream. People may not know how committed you and the 48% of the company that's owned by the Hormel Foundation, which allows you to do a lot of experimentation, is deeply committed to the dividend, even though you're trying to do new, different things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned we're a dividend aristocrat, double-digit increases for double-digit years, and we are incredibly fortunate to have the Hormel Foundation, 48%. And their focus is three things: to preserve the independence of the company, which gives us that longer-term view, to provide for the Hormel heirs, and then to give back to the community where we're based. And so we are so uncommon in that we're based in a town of 23,000 people, a $9.5 billion company in Austin, Minnesota. And so having that foundation, we say it's the greatest gift we ever got from the Hormel family.
And it's something that obviously you mentioned plant-based there. A company walked away from partnering with you, and it didn't seem to matter. Who was that?
Well, it doesn't matter who it was, but when they saw the IPO, the valuation that they thought they could get on their own, right? And so we wished them well, and then we put our resources to action and said, okay, we're no longer going to partner or buy. We're going to build this thing. And so we've got the first entry, we've got customer acceptance, and now we're expanding the line. The other thing that we're doing is we know that consumers experience these new trends in food service for the first time. And so our well-developed food service business and having happy little plants engaged there is going to be an incredible opportunity for us.
And food service plus to me, the invention, the ingenuity is making so even if this global trade turmoil doesn't impact you guys.
Yeah, I mean, not to the degree that it does some others.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on and being faithful to Mad Money.
Absolutely.
I know the company has been, and we love dividends, we love growth, we love honesty, we love sustainability. That is all what you give us with Hormel. I want to thank Jim Snee, who's Chairman, President, and CEO of Hormel Foods. Sir, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Jim, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.